Hey, what's going on, everybody, and welcome to the latest episode of Snap Decisions. This is, of course, your Snap DJ, your host with the most, and I've got my morning voice on, so you'll have to excuse me a little bit. But we have got a lot to talk about, as usual. There was a big patch yesterday in the game, and that, of course, led to some changes, led to some new things, and led to some data mines as well. And we'll talk about those in the spin today. But other than that, we have got a big agenda. We're going to talk about this week's card. Of course, the Fallen One has come out, and we'll discuss that in the Comics Corner today and talk all about his origin and things like that. We're going to go over the patch notes and what was changed to the game yesterday. But first, before we do, I'm going to start by talking about the new things coming up for the show. And, new old things coming up for the show. Just some changes and some format changes, maybe a little bit too. And also some presentation changes. Thanks to my friend Jeff, who, by the way, has his own company that does help you out with marketing and things like that, podcasts, and many, many other things. And if you're interested, check him out. Very, very cool guy and really knows his stuff. Has been doing work on our wrestling podcast now for a long time. And, of course, many other things professionally, worked for several different health companies, planning events, and things like that. So make sure and check him out as well if you are in need of any of that kind of stuff. But he is going to be helping me out with some changes to the look of the pod, the overall feel of it, and everything like that. So, look, I've said this before. Sometimes you need to do some changes, right? You need to do some, some updates and things like that, or else things kind of stagnate a little bit. And, especially in the podcasting business, when a lot of people are doing similar things or the same things. And also, look, I have said this to you guys before, but I enjoy doing the show. And I will keep it going if indeed the things fall off. If something happens to the show where it happens to, I'm sorry, not the show, but the game, where it happens to fall off a little bit, or I shouldn't say that. It kind of already has, I think, in my opinion, where it happens to go away completely. Then I will have something that I can do that will kind of fill in or take its place a little bit, and I don't know. I think it's a good thing to do, and yeah. But anyway, Jeff's page is called Empowered Brand Strategy and Messaging. And also marketing and things like that. Empower your journey. Consult with our experts today. So if you are interested in that, check that out. He's on Facebook and of course he has a web page and things like that as well. So check out Jeff. Empower change, craft marketing magic that touches hearts and sparks curiosity now. Empowered Marketing and Media on Facebook. So give him a look. He's again great at what he does. Okay, so let's get into things. Well, first of all, again, like I said, changes and things like that. You've probably already noticed I've been adding in a little more pop culture, a little more things like that to the show. Well, there's a reason behind that, and that's because I am getting a little concerned that, and it only really comes from the fact, it doesn't come from any factual knowledge or anything like that, but it just coming from the fact that mobile games, I think we're going on Snap's third year. I think they're going to be, I think I saw in the Datamines are going to be doing some stuff to celebrate that. I'm not sure what it'll be. I'm hoping giveaways, please. Let's not do any more monetization things, and we'll get into that too. But and mobile games just don't tend to last a very long time after that on average. So, and what a lot of the things we're seeing with Snap is things that seem to be reaching out to try to get your money. And again, yesterday was no different. Now they worded it differently, they did it differently, but it's still trying to get you to spend, whether it be gold, which is it's essentially like money because you need it and you have to buy it if you want to use it. So, but they're coming up on their 3rd anniversary, and like I said, these games just sometimes don't go into 4th, 5th, 6th years. It's just an average. And so if that's the case, I want to make sure that I plan around that. And what I would end up doing is changing this to a pop culture type thing. Now, there's a lot of those out there on YouTube and stuff. I watch a guy called Den of Nerds. I watch Everything Always. I watch Emergency Awesome. There's a whole ton of people that do that kind of thing. But I would have a bit of a different spin on it. But the other thing I'm doing as well is Mondays. Now, it seems like I'm going to be steadily off work on Mondays, which is good. And I will be going back to having guests, which also incorporates my YouTube channel, my poor YouTube channel. It's been sitting and languishing there with not much content at all. But I kind of love that aspect about my show. I liked having guests on. I like talking to other people. And I've already contacted a bunch. And I'm going to have people back on the show on Mondays. My first guest coming up will be Nerf Herder. He's been on my show before. And cool guy. Love chatting with him. He does his own Marvel Snap content. Kier Nimbus is going to come on. Kier is taking a bit of a break from the game, but he, again, we're going to be talking about not just Snap, but pop culture and other things. And some others that I've reached out to. Burb, who's been on my show before, great guy. He will be back on. So as you can see, I am filling that up. So I will be having that, and please give some love to my YouTube channel. I will be having that live on video. Now that's kind of cool because I can show off some things on YouTube that I can't on audio. So my big Galactus popcorn bucket, a lot of that kind of little trinkety stuff that I've gotten. And just some other things I can show those off on the streams, which is kind of cool. But yeah, so please check out my YouTube page. Subscribe if you haven't done so. I would really appreciate that. Of course, it's under Snap Decisions. And then I can promise you that I will be putting things on there once a week, at least, maybe sometimes twice. Maybe I'll decide to do, I know I haven't been doing OTA stuff recently. So maybe what I'll do is like a little YouTube short and get myself on video again when I do those. Shorts tend to do pretty good on YouTube, so not a bad idea to do that. So maybe I will do those again and get that YouTube channel up and going a little bit more. I'd like to see if I can get myself to 1K on there. That allows you to do some things on the YouTube channels that normally you can't do. If you're not at 1,000 subs. So please sub if you're listening to this. That would mean a great deal. The audio, of course, will not go away. If you listen to just that format, I will still have that show with the guests on audio format as well. So you'll have the audio format of that, and you'll also have the audio of the regular pod. All right, so that is the future plan for the podcast. And, again, I'll have players that I know. I'll try to get creators on there. Sometimes there'll be both. Yeah. And, there's always some names that are out there that people have asked me to see if I can get on. And, some are tough and some aren't. But we'll see. We'll see. Maybe some of these people that were just heavily busy into Snap maybe aren't so much anymore. And it might be a little bit easier to, reach out and have them come on an episode of the show. So we'll see. Okay, so let's get into it. Patch yesterday. And we're going to go right into the patch notes and read about it. Now, this is kind of what set some people off yesterday. Reading this. Again, a lot of it is monetization. And, it's not necessary monetization, which I guess is a step in the right direction, but it is still monetization, nevertheless. And I kind of was hoping that, we would see some things that weren't that, because I think people are just kind of over it a little bit. But anyway, so this is the patch notes here. Features, spotlight variants, and Series 3 cards added to the card shop. So again, since the removal of the cache feature, we've been trying to find a home for Spotlight variants. Going forward, you will find Spotlight variants in rotation in the daily card section of Snap Card Shop alongside Ultimate variants. Additionally, we've added individual Series 3 cards alongside Series 4 and Series 5 to the daily cards section. 2 new featured sets in the card shop are releasing later this season: X-Men cards and Destroy cards. So there are some Datamines that these could be. I'm not really sure, but we'll talk about that. New conditional bundles. Season Infinite. Only available for players once they hit Infinite in a season. This is a kick in the nuts. Will include 3 Rainbow Fire card borders or 3 Gold Fire borders, random. Borders are launching exclusive to this bundle. The price is $14.99, will vary based on your region. Purchasable once per season. So again, you must hit Infinite to get this, which is basically just borders, and you still are paying. So it's not a gift for hitting Infinite. It's $15 that you can now pay if you hit Infinite only. Season Pass complete bundles, only available for players once they complete level 50 of the Season Pass. Will include a mystery variant and a gold at a value price. So again, it's going to cost you, so it's, again, more pricing, more monetization stuff, and you have to complete level 50 of the Season Pass. So basically finish the Season Pass. Purchasable once per season, pricing will vary. New card exclusive variants. A featured variant for the newest Series 5 card of the week. I have that one now with the Fallen one for $9.99. Will include 4 White Fire card borders. I'm sorry. Only available for players who have acquired the new season card, the new card within 7 days of its launch. The price is $9.99 to $19.99. Higher price bundles will include additional boosters, and the $19.99 SKU will also include 1 premium mystery border. The exclusive variant will become widely available in the future. That time frame has not been determined. Top 5,000. Now this is on ladder. Only available for players who reach top 5,000 in post-infinite. Ranked play during a season. Will include 4 White Fire card borders. Borders are launching exclusive to this bundle. Purchasable once per season for $20. And then lastly, Snap Pack bundles. These bundles will be available for new or low collection level players. They'll become available for players at the following CL levels: 214 end of Series 1, 486 end of Series 2, or collection level 1000. The bundles are not retroactive for players who are already beyond these milestones. Pricing will vary. So, again, this is only for new players, and you heard the things there. So, again, that's pretty much it. The other stuff is bug fixes. And there are a lot of bugs. Something with Fantastic Car, Silver Surfer First Steps. Herald stuff, border rarities, VFX no longer appearing, Herald card VFX. And Alex Maleev Khonshu variant reference tokens artwork should work. Merlin's polymorph skill cards should no longer cause overlap issues. Jim Hammond Human Torch should no longer play at the start of each. That's even before that comes out. Sakar, the game should no longer crash when the end of turn button is pressed before. Well, I could tell you this. They fixed some. It doesn't look like really anything that has affected me, but I could tell you one new one that happened to me. Kate Bishop. When I played the card last night during some Conquest games, I have a deck that has both Galactuses in that has Kate Bishop in them. Her grapple arrow, if played, causes the game to immediately freeze on your side of the board. So player beware, when you're using Kate Bishop and you play the grapple arrow, you can no longer take any turns in the game. Regardless of whether you exit out and go back in, you are still completely stuck and can't play a single card for the rest of that match. So you have nothing to do but retreat. You can use the retreat button, but that's all you could do. So Kate Bishop is broken right now, and don't play it because your game will 100% crash. So just letting you know, discovered that a bunch of times, or twice last night in 2 different games. Now I kept her in the deck to experiment a little bit, but when I got the grapple arrow, I would not play it. I played other arrows that didn't do it. It just seems like it's the grapple arrow that causes the game to crash. It doesn't do what it's supposed to do. It doesn't bring a card over to it, and it just crashes the game. So there you go. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. There are so many bugs in this game that they need to just fix them. And there are so many that they just need to spend one patch on bugs. Now, people ask about it, and pretty much their answer is that they have a team that does it now. Well, the team needs to either get bigger or spend a lot more time on it, because they fix 1 or 2 things, and it just, there's brand new ones. So these things are just popping up all over the place, and they need to just absolutely get this fixed. Because it's something that it just needs to be a focus, and I kind of think it gets put on the back burner. So, all right, so we're gonna get into the Datamines in a second, and we'll finish the spin there. But I have played a lot of Conquest over the course of this past week, because I decided I would get the card. I was thinking I wasn't going to. I know I told you guys I wasn't really concerned about the null, but I haven't missed one yet, so I figured why not. And plus I didn't really feel like playing ladder. My goal is, and I'm at 93 still, which is where I was, but I'm a little higher in 93, so I really didn't play much ladder at all. But my goal is to wait until Sanctum hits, and then I think people will be playing maybe a little less ladder, and might be a little less sweaty to try to get through the 90s. So I played a lot of Conquest, and what I've seen is the aforementioned cheater bots that they are now talking about and admitting that are out there, that they play better, are now in Conquest. And they are now in Proving Grounds in Conquest, which really sucks, because a lot of people would play Conquest and play Proving Grounds in the hopes that you just get in there, get a ticket, and leave. Well, you can't do that against them. They will not now. They will snap you sometimes early on in the game in round 1. So sometimes they will do the first round snap, but in a lot of cases, if you are winning and beating them, they will leave. They will exit. They will not stick around for you to just win 8 cubes or any of that. So they will stick around, and you will have to put up with it and play out the entire match in Proving Ground. So that absolutely sucks, especially when these things, oh my God, do they cheat? They will pull out the goofiest, weirdest plays that will beat you at the end of a game. And they're playing meta decks. They're playing Invisible Woman Final Turn. They play it really well. They play the Prodigy under the Invisible Woman, the whole 9 yards. And they do discard. Bullseye Discard. I ran into several of those. They play Mr. Negative. And they will literally, if you have a play where you're almost 100% certain you will win, they will dig out a win somehow. So these bots are horrible. They're annoying, especially in Proving Grounds. Why the hell would you want to play a bot that's going to try to beat you in Proving Grounds? And I know their answer is they're trying to make the game better. They're trying to make it... I don't see how this is doing this in this particular thing. Nobody wants to play out matches in Proving Grounds. But now you will be forced to with these bots. And again, no recognizable thing to them. They don't, unlike the ones on ladder, have high collection levels. They're usually in the 20,000s, which is an average collection level now that you see a lot. But they will be playing meta decks in there, and they play them very well. So just beware of that. If you are going to play, now I know a lot of people don't play Conquest anymore, but I think that this little addition is going to dissuade them even more. Now, I think that the reason they're doing this is primarily because of the lost amount of players they have seen in the game, and you probably would be sitting in a queue that would be long. That you wouldn't be getting a match. Now, I'm seeing that more and more anyway, regardless of whether you're playing in Conquest or ladder, where the timer on the countdown to get a match is longer and longer. So again, it's no secret that they have lost players in their player base, and that people are showing you statistics from year over year. I've seen some creators do that. I think Nina, on her video that she did about reasons why she's not paying any money for the game anymore, showed the statistics of how many players they have lost from their base over last year. So people are leaving, and it's no secret. And so this is their way of getting around it. They're adding more and more bots to make up for that. So, and they're not lousy bots. They're bots that are much, much better. So, all right. Let's look at the Datamines. Now, with every new patch comes Datamines. And we got more info on the Zombies, Marvel Zombies season. The title screen is there. We got the season pass, which has Zombie Scarlet Witch, Zombie Devil Dinosaur. So Zombie Scarlet Witch is the season pass card. Devil Dinosaur could be the other one, the one that you get if you pay for the more expensive pass. There are avatars for Zombie Howard the Duck, Zombie Scarlet Witch, and Zombie Devil Dinosaur. The card backs are Zombie, looks like Captain America in one of them. I can't tell what the other one is. It could be the Horde, because I know that Horde thing is going to be big now. And they don't really talk about that. There's more stuff with the Horde, but they don't say what the Horde actually does yet. But they are the card backs, and then you get a variant of Howard the Duck. So you get Zombie Howard the Duck and Headpool in this as well, who is prominent in the animated series. Now, just so you know, the MCU has moved that up. So, Disney Plus has moved up this series. It's now going to happen in September instead of October. So the Marvel Zombie series is coming to Disney Plus in October. The September ones is going to be the Android season, and that is the one with Viv Vision is your season pass. And so that includes Viv Vision, of course, and regular Vision are in there. And then Sparky is in there, the green dog. And then you have Nimrod variant as well. And it looks like you have Viv Vision as a season pass card, and also Nimrod as a card back. Viv Vision and Nimrod are card backs. You have avatars for Viv, Nimrod, and Vision, and then you have green card backs as well. So, okay, let's look at some of the cards. Now, this first batch, I don't know what these are for. Some people saying it could be for Deadpool's Diner. But there's a whole bunch of these that are existing cards, but they have a designation with them. So I don't know exactly what these are. I'm just going to read them out. We have a Wolverine X-Men. So are we getting now a bunch of reprints? Well, people are going to flip about that. They're already bitching about the Galactus ones, let alone, the Galactus one. And then, of course, the Fantastic Four stuff being reprinted cards that we already have. Winter Soldier Thunderbolts. So I don't know. Are these movie versions of these? Are these variants of these? I don't know. White Queen Brotherhood of Mutants. So is that a version of White Queen? Web Sling. Now I don't know what that is. These could be what are they called? Like Astral Projection. They could be those type of cards. But you have one that's called Web Sling Future Series 4. That's a Series 4 card. We have Vision Avengers, Vibro Shock Gauntlets, which is Shocker's Gauntlets. We have Valentina Thunderbolts, Toxidoxy Thunderbolts, Thor Avengers, Taskmaster Thunderbolts, Symbiote Spider-Man Web Slingers, Superior Spider-Man. That's Dr. Octopus. I think there may be another Spider-Man season coming. It looks that way, that we might be getting another Spider-Man season. And that's where some of these might be coming from, but I don't know. Again, they do the farthest they're going in Datamines is October, which is the zombie season. So maybe this is part of November, because you will see now going forward. There's Spider-Punk, there's Spider-Man Noir. So that could be, maybe we're getting a into the Spiderverse season, which could very well be. Star-Lord Guardians of the Galaxy. So I don't know what these are. Spider-Man 2099 Web Slingers. Sentry Thunderbolts. It looks like we could be getting a movie Thunderbolts season. Selene Brotherhood of Mutants. So maybe a Brotherhood of Mutants season. Again, I don't know what these are. Scarlet Witch Brotherhood of Mutants. Scarlet Spider Web Slinger. Rocket Raccoon Guardian of the Galaxy. Remote Minds. Prowler. Again, Prowler hasn't been done yet. Now, he's big in the Spider-Verse, so that could be, again, what this might be. It could very well be into the Spider-Verse season, which I'm sure a lot of people would enjoy. It's a huge thing. A lot of people love the animated series, so maybe that's the way they're going with all this. Especially with Noir and Spider-Punk and Prowler. So it's possible. We'll find more about it in the next set of Datamines, I would guess. Professor X, X-Men. Nightcrawler, X-Men. Mystique, Brotherhood of Mutant. Mantis, Guardians of the Galaxy. Man-Spider. Magneto, Brotherhood of Mutants. Lady Deathstrike, Brotherhood of Mutants. Jubilee X-Men, Jean Grey X-Men, Hydro-Man, who's new, Hulk Avengers, Hawkeye Avengers, Groot, Guardians of the Galaxy, Ghost from Thunderbolts, Ghost Spider Web Slingers, Gamora, Guardians of the Galaxy, Flight Harness, Ezekiel Sims. We got to be getting a Spider-Verse set. Drax, Guardians of the Galaxy, Doctor Strange Avengers, Deafening Chord, Cyclops X-Men, Chameleon, Captain America Avengers, Anti-Venom Web Slingers, and Agony Web Slingers. So what those all are, I don't know. It could very well be the November season, and maybe it is a Spider-Verse season. High possibility, I think, of that, but no real details. All right, so these are the ones that have details. I'm going to go over these quickly. I'm not going to rank them or anything like that. I'm just going to read them. So these are mostly going to be from the next couple of series coming up. So Marvel Zombies has a Zombie Galacti. That is a 7/4. Start of game, choose 6 other cards in your deck. On reveal, transform those cards into copies of this. So you get to choose 6 cards in your deck that are going to be a 7/4. Okay, well, that's not a great stat line, but there's got to be something else that's going to happen with these that's going to make them cost less or something like that. Zombie Giant Man, 5/3. On reveal, Horde +1. Then this gains power equal to your zombie horde. So again, zombie horde is going to be a thing. So all these are going to probably have this horde feature, and it's going to probably do something. Next, we have Zombie Captain Marvel, a 4/4. Activate. Destroy your other cards here to get +3 power for each. Move to a location you're losing. We have Zombie Sentry, 3/4. On reveal, Horde +1 for each of your cards at the right location. We have Zombie Colonel America. Ongoing, your other cards here have +1 power for each turn you've discarded a card. We have Zombie Scarlet Witch, Season Pass, 3/2. After you play a card here, Horde +2. We have Zombie Power Man. He's a 2/4. End of turn, if you're winning here, discard the leftmost card from your hand. We have Zombie Mr. Fantastic. He's a 2/2. On reveal, Horde +2. Activate. Give 4 of your created cards a +1 power. We have Headpool. He's a 1/1. When this is destroyed, return it to your hand. Then give all cards in your hand +1. We have the Hunger, which is a like an astral projection. So this is a skill. It costs 1. The Hunger, on reveal, Horde +3. Oh, okay. This could be, a lot of these cards could be for the limited time mode where you have the champions. That's maybe what a lot of them could be. Zombie Horde is another card. That's 0/0, and it just says Grar. No, and just a 0/0 thing. And then we have some more of these other ones: Wolverine, X-Men, Winter Soldier, Thunderbolts, White Queen, Brotherhood of Mutants, Web Sling, Vision, Avengers. Web Sling could be an ability for the commander thing, right? So that's what these probably all might be. So we might be getting a Spider-Man themed one of those. And you might get some of these cards in there, like Prowler and things like that. So maybe that's what this is. Vision Avengers, Vibroshock Gauntlets, Valentina Thunderbolts, Toxie Thunderbolts, Thor Avengers, Taskmaster Thunderbolts, Symbiote Spider-Man Slingers, Superior Spider-Man, Star-Lord Guardians of the Galaxy, Spider-Punk, Spider-Man No Year, 2099 Slingers, Sentry Thunderbolts, Selene, Remote Minds, Prowler, Professor X, Jean Grey, Hydro-Man. I think we went over some of these. Hulk Avengers, Cyclops, Deafening Chord, Chameleon. Yeah. So that is what the Datamines are. So yeah, I bet you that's what that is. That's probably that game mode where you get the champions that they're coming out with. So that's probably what a lot of these are for. They're probably skills and stuff like that maybe that the champions will get. So it might be a Spider-Man themed one of those that we're getting. All right, so next up we have some variants. I'm not going to go over all these. There's a cool Goliath. It looks like we're getting more tarot variants. They look the same. They're very gold colored. So it looks like we might be getting another tarot batch of variants, another tarot album maybe. The Goliath looks like a tarot, so does Ares. So we might be getting another tarot set of variants. There is another Galactus one coming. But again, I'm not going to go over all these. Many of them could be monetized in bundles and stuff like that. Not sure. But in any case, we are getting a bunch of those. Again, could be in bundles. There's a new Bullseye coming up. Stuff for the zombies. Colonel America. Danger. These are just from upcoming sets. There's a new couple deaths. There's a zombie death. Fenris Wolf has a couple new ones coming. There's 2 more Galactus ones coming. One for First Steps and one just normal one. Stuff for Ghost. Ghost Rider, Gladiator, Gwenpool. Headpool has a bunch. Hobgoblin, Invisible Woman, Human Torch, Jim Hammond, Mega Sentinel. Yeah, there's definitely new tarot cards coming. Tribunal has a tarot. Legion has a tarot. Man-Thing. My boy Man-Thing's getting 2 new variants. First time in a long time that he's gotten variants. Vincenzo Riccardi one, which looks amazing, and Alberto Del Lago Man-Thing. So that's cool that he's getting some love. Merlin, Mockingbird, MODOK, Moirax. Oh, Moira X. Namora, Nico, Pixie, Quake, Rocket and Groot, Sasquatch, Cersei, Sentry, Shadow King is also a tarot, so yeah, there's definitely another tarot album coming. Another Spider-Man variant, like we need more of those. Surtur. Oh, here we go. Yeah, see, The Hunger has variants of those. So that's definitely going to be a playable thing. Warlock, White Queen, X-23, Zombie Captain Marvel, Zombies. Bunch of zombie stuff. Okay, new locations and all that kind of stuff. I'm not going to go over all of those. So we'll get into those as far as when we come up to our ranks in each season that we're going to do rankings and stuff like that. So, all right. Next up, we are going to talk about we're going to get into, we do have a question. So we have a call-in this week, which is kind of cool. I always appreciate those, and thank you for those of you who have done that. And then, of course, we have Sanctum coming up, and it is the new version of Sanctum. So that's high voltage Sanctum, I believe, that we're getting. That was in the patch, and that should be coming up any day now. That has another one of the new cards in it. So, all right, let's get to the questions. Now, the first one is going to be a continuation of the question that I had about my Mount Rushmore stuff. So, I'm going to... I just got a reply from somebody else with another bug. When I merge Spider onto Deadpool and destroy it with Kid Omega, the game kicks me out and I can't play anymore. But apparently it only registers my last move and not the opponent, so I win the match every time. Game is buggy as of right now. Oh, boy. Let's see. They added more things to buy in the shop. That's definitely more important than fixing silly bugs, right? Right? It says Chill Dude Snaps. Character Marvel has this is from Skosko, who's awesome. Still pretty weird we're getting Jim Hammond. Like that's a character Marvel has ignored for decades. If you can give us OG Torch, you can give us classic Kirby monsters. Where's Mangog? Oh my God, I would love a Mangog. Oh, I love Mangog. That'd be a great one. Orgo the Unconquerable and Roro from the Bottomless Pit, you cowards. Right? I would love that. That'd be amazing. So, Mount Rushmore. And we're going to do DC because someone asked me to do DC stuff. So I will do that right now. It's going to be easy and it's going to be quicker, I think. So Mount Rushmore of superheroes for DC. Pretty easy for me. Superman. No doubt. Again, like I said, and I've told you many of the reasons why when I talked about the Superman movie. Just a big part of my childhood. And, I was reading Superman and Batman, who's also on Mount Rushmore. I mean, come on. He has to be, right? But I was reading both of those comics when I was about 6, 7 years old. So, again, going back to the Mego action figures that I collected, I always got Superman and Batman. Same thing for the little Superpowers figures, the Mego Superpowers figures. that had the little bases to stand on. I had all of those. I had Superman and Batman. I was very jealous of a friend of mine who collected the Mego figures as well, who had Batman, and he had the Bruce Wayne Batman, that unmasked. That is a very rare Mego figure, and he somehow managed to get it, where you pulled the mask off of him and you saw Bruce Wayne, which I never got, but he was able to get that because he collected them earlier than I did. I had the Mego Batcave. I had the Mego Batmobile, which was a spin-off of the Adam West Batman car. And then I had I had a lot of Superman stuff over the years too. So Superman and Batman definitely both on my Mount Rushmore, and because of movies and comics and being just big. You know, I've seen every Batman movie to date, even the Adam West one. I've seen all of the Superman stuff, even the old black and white series on TV that I used to watch at my grandmother's house. And I've read all of the origin comic stories of those back to the very beginning. I didn't own them, obviously, but I read them in reprint form and things like that. So both of them are up there. Next for me would be The Flash. Again, just another one of my favorite all-time comics is the race between Flash and Superman. And I've always loved the Barry Allen Flash. Now, I know there's been several of them. Wally West became the Flash for quite a long time when they killed Flash off in the Crisis, when they killed the Barry Allen one off, then later brought him back. So I have always loved him. I had a Flash ring when I was very young, and I wore it so much that the thing turned my finger green. Those of you who are older will remember that costume jewelry years ago when it was made of tin. You used to just turn your finger green the longer you wore it. But I wore that Flash ring everywhere. And, always imagined the suit popping out of my ring like it used to in the comics, which was, just awesome. So big Flash fan. I've read his comics for a long time in DC. And I've always loved him. I can remember when I was a kid, I used to do a lot of tracing because they'd come out with tracing paper, which they still sell, by the way. We sell it in Staples, which I had no idea. But tracing paper, I used to take tracing paper and I would put them on top of my gigantic dollar comic books that I used to buy, and I would trace. And I would trace the pictures from the covers of the comic, which was a lot of fun for me. So. But yes, so Flash is on my Mount Rushmore for several reasons. When they finally came out with the TV series with Grant Gustin, I loved it. I thought it was awesome. I watched the whole entire thing. I know some people stopped watching it. They said it got a little too childlike and stuff for them, but I loved it. I thought it was great. I watched till the end. I loved how they had the characters like Grodd and Professor Zoom and things like that I again, never thought I would see on a TV show. But yeah, so The Flash is up there. And my fourth one, is I have to kind of make it a little bit of a tie here, I think. But no, I'll just make my fourth one and then honorable mentions. My fourth one is Shazam. Again, going back to the campy 70s TV series where he used to drive around in an RV, with a person who was technically kind of like his wizard. And so there's of course a wizard that gives him his powers in the comics. But this guy that drove around with him in the RV was just this older man who's kind of like his wizard, I guess, in the show. But again, I loved the TV series, and I got to love the character Shazam because of it. I would go back and I read all these comics from the 60s and stuff like that. His origin story, I just loved it. He was a young kid who could turn into a superhero by saying the word Shazam, and it would make him he would turn from a young kid. How he did this, I don't know. Same body, but he was, never really kind of explained that, but he would turn into an adult. But he would still act like a child. So he was an adult, but his mind was that of a child's. And then, of course, we finally got the Shazam films. I love the first one. Second one got a little weird, but and now the actor who plays him, I'm not a huge fan of at all. I don't like him for other reasons, of course, not the character he plays, but I thought he did good with the character. I will give him that. I thought it was done well, but I'm not a big fan of him. Just overall as a person for other personal reasons and things like that. But yeah, so they are my Mount Rushmore. Now, some of the others that could have easily been up there, Swamp Thing. I love my Swamp guys. And Man Thing and Swamp Thing, I read much of the Swamp Thing stuff was a lot of it horror books. And again, I was just kind of drawn to that because of another one of my people that is high up in DC, and that's John Constantine. Now, I didn't get into Constantine until about the mid-'90s when my buddy had the comic book store. He loved the character, loved him, and he got me reading it, and I really, really got hooked. Read a lot of John Constantine stuff, and again, he was on that live-action series. He had his own series on NBC, which was amazing. But then they kept the actor from that to play him in the live-action WB stuff, but it was very toned down. The NBC series was a horror series, but it got canceled very quickly. And I liked the Keanu Reeves version. The movie version was good as well. And apparently, he is, after all these years, working on another one. So they're going to do a sequel to that. That one very, very much into horror, a lot of possession stuff in that, and things like that. So, but they are both big favorites of mine. Also, in DC, there are just so many DC characters that I could go on and on about, but they are like my top. DC villains, Mount Rushmore, Joker, like duh, one of the best villains ever. And just seeing all the creations of him over the years, whether it was in the comic books when he got his face sliced off by Professor Pig and then he sewed it back on. The version that killed Robin in the comics, there was an actual 1-800 number, or it may have been 900 number that you could call if you want Robin to die, and that version of Robin got voted to die. And not many people liked him. So he was killed by the Joker in a comic book due to that call-in thing, which was kind of crazy to me. But I have loved all the iterations of the Joker, whether it be in comics. I liked the original Adam West Batman's Joker. I liked the movie versions, all except for one, and that's the Jared Leto version. I'm not a fan. Not a fan of Gangsta version, Gangsta Joker. Did not like that one at all. But all the rest, of course, Heath Ledger's is the standout in the films. He was absolutely amazing in that role. And, R.I.P., obviously, he, passed away much too young, but he was just amazing. Just amazing. And I just loved him. The voice, do you want to see a magic trick? Oh, man, it's so good. So good. And just absolutely loved it. And I'm sure there'll be more versions of the character because he's just the iconic villain. So Joker for sure. Oh, man, let's see. Doomsday. And I told you guys what Doomsday meant to me as far as comics is concerned, brought me back into reading comic books because of the whole death of Superman stuff and just seeing that whole storyline play out. And it's like, who is powerful enough that they could kill a man who's immortal, that they could kill Superman? And seeing the developments of Doomsday from when he was in that green outfit in the comics, before he broke out of that containment suit that he was in, when he first crash lands on Earth, because I thought the containment suit was even creepier when he was wearing that than what he actually looked like. But the fact that he, as Superman fought him, he could just get stronger as he got beaten up, and those bones protruding out of him. The way he was drawn in the comics was just awesome. And of course, the movie version in Batman Superman that looked like a cave troll. No, thank you. But the one that we got on the Superman series, the Superman and Lois series, amazing, absolutely amazing. The origin was different, but he looked awesome. he looked way better than the movie one. But I mean, anybody who could kill Superman has to be on my Mount Rushmore of villains. Doomsday is definitely up there. And if you didn't read The Death of Superman, you really should. It's very good. Let me think here. Professor Zoom for Flash, the Reverse Flash, as many of them, as he was called. Loved him as well. He was, again, when you make a villain that can go toe to toe with the hero and has basically all of his powers as well, but uses them for bad things, that makes for a pretty good villain. And Professor Zoom has been around. I love the version again on the TV show. I forget the actor who played him, but oh man, just a great villain, and just Dr. Jekyll to Flash, or Hyde to Flash's Dr. Jekyll, and vice versa. But just a perfect villain for Flash, because he had the same powers. And I mean, that's when that's the case. It's just amazing. And who else? Oh man, I could go with Black Adam for Shazam, because again, very similar. But I'm going to probably have to pick another Batman villain, because there are just a ton of great ones out there, and I'm going to go with Two-Face. I always loved Two-Face with the coin. Again, what a great villain. Gets scarred by acid in a courtroom. He was a good guy all that time, and then he just turns into. But he's not always bad, and that's the thing I like about him. Harvey Dent. I have the Harvey Dent scarred coin as well as one of my little superhero trinkets, along with the Flash ring and stuff. But oh man, such a great villain, and again, been in so many of the movies, in several different iterations. He was supposed to be in Michael Keaton's Batman. He was played by Billy D. Williams, of course. And that character was supposed to go further had they continued that even more than they did. But then he ended up being played in the Val Kilmer one. Oh, I forget the actor's name, but he's just been in so many of those movies. And then of course in Nolan's Batman, he was awesome in that. But yeah, it's just so many different versions of that one. And look, I got to shout out, there's so many female villains as well that I can make my own Mount Rushmore for. Catwoman, is just one that comes off the top of my head that I loved throughout the years. But yeah, Cheetah for Wonder Woman was a great villain in the comics. So just so many that I can go through, and maybe I'll do a villains one someday too. But yeah, so there you go. There's my Mount Rushmore for the DC stuff. I did have another question, and for the call in today, so I will. I'm going to get into that, and give me a second to pull that one up. This is from a friend of the show, Chris Hamsworth. Asks me for question for the next podcast. If you are given one deck slot, now this is a snap question, to use, and the rule is that you have to put two of each, for example, two on reveal, which cards would you put in? So one deck slot to use, and you have to put two of each. So for example, two on reveal. Which cards would I put in? So basically you're asking me, like, what type of card? Which cards would I put in? So this will be something that I used a lot. Back in the day, now not so much anymore, because ramp has kind of got has gone out of favor. I love ramp decks, and I used a lot of wave. Wave would be one, I think, that I would pick, which of course isn't on reveal, because I never really played a lot of ongoing until more recently, and so I did play a ton of ramp. I was always a ramp guy, and being because of Galactus being a ramp card, And so I did a lot of ramp stuff. And so Wave would definitely be one that was up there. I have so many splits of Wave because of how much I played that card back in the day. And then trying to think of some stuff that I'm playing now. Oh man. Again, yeah, I'm not a big fan of ongoing. I'm much more a fan of on reveals. Because I really hated Cosmo. And it's funny because I'm not a destroy player. And that's one of the ones where you're going to see like a lot of the most of the on reveals that you play. But Wave would be one for sure because I just used the crap out of that. I used to play Electro a ton too. And Electro had an on reveal. Of course, that ended up hurting you down the line. I mean, you could only play one card basically after playing him unless you blink him out, which a lot of people do now, or just tend to get rid of him. And there's more ways to get rid of Electro now than there were. But Electro was another favorite card of mine that I had in almost every single deck that I would play. And again, a lot of this goes back to how much I played Galactus. And Galactus, of course, another on reveal. So I guess on reveals, if you want to break it down into that, are probably one of my favorite types of cards in the game, as to what I played over the years. And I'm back to playing Galactus now. Regular OG Galactus, not the First Steps one. I'm back to playing an OG Galactus deck. And a lot of the cards in there on reveal. So I guess you could say I am probably a fan mostly of on reveals. And you can name a lot of those that I played in those decks. I would just try to get priority early. And I'm also a fan of getting priority. So I do like to have cards that give me priority. I played Nebula a lot back in the day, because she was able to do that if people didn't play into her lane. Because again, being a Galactus player, you need to do that. You have to somehow figure out a way to get priority. Now, it's not so important anymore, because people don't necessarily try to do that. A lot of them try a lot of end of turn stuff. So that's why I think Galactus is working a little more now, is because people just try to win games at the very end of the game. So, but interesting question. I don't know if I answered it the way you quite wanted me to, but thank you. Appreciate that. All right, so we're moving on, and thank you for those. I always appreciate the questions, and if you have one, please send them to me via Twitter, DMs on Twitter, or on Twitter, just in a post. You can send them to my Discord, the Snap Decisions, or I am Snap Decisions on the Snap Judgments League Discord, which, by the way, I'm playing in it again. There are games going on right now, so if you haven't joined, I don't know if it's full. It probably is. But if you haven't gotten in on one of these, they're very fun. So make sure you do. I'm playing No Luck's Given in the first round, who I'm going to have on my pod, by the way. I heard him on Glazers this past week. So, but he will be a future guest coming up on the pod. And I will be playing him in the next day or two in my first match of the new league. Have no clue what I'm playing yet. All right, let's go into the week in review, shall we? Now, I had the cheater bots thing in here, but I've already talked about that, so we won't talk about that again. Instead, we'll just go into the game section of it, and we'll get to my week in review. So let's open up Snap here and see how long it's going to stay open and not crash my iPad, which probably won't be very long. So we'll get into this. Then we will get into the Fallen one. I was going to do an extra character this week, but I'm not, because I'm on a limited time here, because I'm going to work right after I do this podcast. So I'm not going to get into that. So I'm just going to do Fallen one in Comics Corner. And we'll discuss his origins and stuff like that and get into the character. And then we'll talk about the card. I did not play him at all. I watched people play him. He's the one who gives you the extra energy when you, and of course he's a buff card, and I don't know if I'm going to really have much interest in playing it. I saw Regis make a fun deck with it where you can come out with these crazy big last turns with Black Panther and Zola in one turn and all this other kind of stuff. not really at all my kind of thing. They don't interest me, and so I don't really know if I'm going to be playing this card very much. So, okay, as we do, let's go. And so there is one of these new exclusive offers for the Fallen One variant, which is $9.99. To me, we have a Cable bundle, Symbiotic Arsenal, Ancient Ashes, a Firehair bundle, Token Tuesday, which is still not worth it. And then in my particular thing, I got the Nokia because it's a 700 gold bundle. I got that from my alliance, getting the rewards, which, by the way, I'm back up to almost 30 members. So thank you to all that came out and saw the message about us losing a lot of members, but people who have just joined, I appreciate it. I think we're at 29 out of 30 again. So we still have one spot open if you are looking for an alliance, and the alliance is awesome. Again, like I said, we get the rewards every single week. But let's see, I have the Kim Jacinto variant of Onslaught, Peach Momoko's, Mirage, Midnight Suns, Silver Surfer, Venomized Armor, Pandardina, Art Germ, Killmonger, Victor Pharaoh, Malekith, and Moon Colony variant of Moon Colony of Nokia, which I was able to get from the rewards. And then the cards themselves, of course, Fallen One, I got that. Let's look at some of my card collection here, and I'll talk about variants and stuff. Let's see. So I got a variant of... Now, I may have talked about this last week, but I got a Psylocke Tony Moy variant of Psylocke. I got the Shang-Chi with the Jeff leaping at him, the Nad Fuji variant of Shang-Chi. So that's very, very funny looking and very cool. I like the artwork. The Galactus, the regular Pandart Studio Galactus, I like a lot. He's got like a planet under his hand that he's sucking the energy out of and basically destroying. So very cool artwork with that one. Of course, I had to get that. I get all the Galactuses. I got the Toxin that they came out with the other day because that's one of the 700 gold ones. The Scan variant of Toxin, which is very cool looking. And then, of course, the Nokia that I told you about. And I got the Dormammu Spotlight variant, which I was able to buy with tokens because they're putting those in the thing now where you can buy some of these. So I didn't have a variant for Dormammu, so I picked that up even though I don't play it at all. So, okay, so that's the variants and stuff that I've gotten. I did not get any of those for the new bundle, that Keep It Casual one that I went over, or the new album, rather, that I went over last week. So I didn't get any of those, which I said I probably wouldn't because they cost too much gold. Okay, so some decks that I am playing. This is one from Butt. Now, if you don't know Butt, he makes some really fun decks and cool decks, but I played this one. This is, I saw him play a match against Dexter on Dexter's streams that I've been watching a lot lately. And this one is Quicksilver, Domino, Astral Projection, Morph, Patriot, Speed, Malekith, Moonstone, Wiccan. So it's a Wiccan list, but it also has White Tiger, Doom, so the regular Doctor Doom, and Ultron. So a lot of cool things. It's basically a Patriot Ultron list, but you're just getting a lot of other stuff in there. And the Astral Projection leads you to duplicating things. So what you're trying to do is just make a lot of token cards. The White Tiger is going to give you those big 9 power White Tigers. And Doctor Doom is going to give you the Doom bots. And then, Ultron's just going to fill in a lane for you at the end and give you. And if you have Patriot out there, and then if you have Moonstone, and things like that, you're going to be able to just make those even bigger. So it's very easy deck to play. It's Wiccan. Speed as well is in there, so he's just going to keep gaining power. Malekith hides that last turn card that you're going to be able to surprise someone with. And the Domino and Quicksilver just in there to just, get the Wiccan out early. So pretty fun and pretty easy to play as well. Darkhawk. This is Dexter's list of Darkhawk. Korg, Quicksilver, Domino, again, another Quicksilver Domino list that has Wiccan. Cassandra Nova, Mystique, Juggernaut, Speed. I don't know if this is, this might not be Dexter's, actually. It might be, it might not be, I can't remember. But Mystique is in here, of course, to copy the Darkhawk. Juggernaut. Juggernaut is just a card that probably should be looked at this point because it just wins you games. Speed, Terrax, Rockslide, Malekith, Wiccan, and Darkhawk. I played a little bit of that. Safety Blades deck is still just rolling on, man, and he is up in top of ladder. Great player. He's been on my podcast. I'm going to probably ask him if he'd come on again because I really enjoyed talking to him the time that I did. But he's always up on the top of ladder. He changed this around a little bit to accommodate for the changes to Mr. Fantastic, who is no longer in the deck, but he now has Spider-Ham, Hydra Bob, Black Cat, Thena, Havoc, Surge. So Surge is still in there. Juggernaut, Mobius, Mobius, Invisible Woman, Fantastic Cars, Stardust, and The Thing. And this is still very, very good. So if you like the end-of-turn stuff, this is definitely one to play. The Spider-Ham just wipes out a good card for your opponent and is a smart addition to this. Hydra Bob just gets priority. Black Cat, same thing. Thena, Havoc are the two targets that your Invisible Woman is going to hit. Surge, of course, is get that. The Thing is just going to kill something in that lane that's full to help win you a lane. And Juggernaut, again, just helps you win a lane. So it's just a very good end of turn deck still with that safety is created. The one I've been playing mostly is called Double Trouble, which is a great song by the Cars, by the way, if I lead this back to music, on one of their albums that's kind of underrated that came out in the late 80s. But this is Mercury, Daredevil, Kate Bishop, who is broken, so don't play that now. I have to get that out of here. I might put Domino in here. Why not? Jeff, although Kate Bishop's arrow is kind of useful in this. But Jeff, Green Goblin, Luna Snow, Hobgoblin, Professor X is in here, Cannonball, Galactus, Eliath, and the other Galactus. So just several different ways to win. The regular OG Galactus is quite often a surprise. And if you get the Green Goblin in the lane or the Hobgoblin, he's usually much easier to win with because many times people will just ignore that lane. So unless you come up against a destroyed deck, in which case you're kind of hurting. But this has been a lot of fun, and I've won more games than I probably should with the Galactus. The number one deck is still out there, and it's still good. This is the end of turn deck with Invisible Woman, Sunspot, Hydra Bob, Thena, Havoc, Surge, Juggernaut, Negasonic, Mr. Fantastic First Steps is still in this, Mobius, Prodigy, Invisible Woman, and Fantastic Car, and it still plays well. This one, Surtur, is back, and just regular Surtur, no Nightmare. Zabu, Sauron, Zero, Surge, Surtur, Starbrand, Ares, Enchantress, Cull, Typhoid Mary, Red Skull, and Scar. I've seen this played a lot against me this month. And yeah, they were the most... the Agatha one is out there. Several different versions of that. Mill has made a comeback. Much to, I'm sure, the pleasure of a lot of people. They love this deck. The Hood, Yondu, Mercury, Cable, Fenris, Grandmaster, Killmonger, Baron Zemo, Gladiator, Misery, Cannonball, and Death. And then Victoria Hand and some stuff like that. So there you go. That is my week in the game and my look back at my week in Marvel Snap. All right, we are going to get to the Fallen One in comics. So let's get to the Fallen One. And we will talk about him. Fallen One, a Herald of Galactus, of course. Yes, he is. From Earth 616. Was originally a Herald of Cosmic Identity Galactus, and was his first attempt at creating a servant. Unlike other Heralds, the Fallen One was empowered by dark energy as opposed to cosmic radiation. Fallen One, however, proved to be very cruel and was eventually imprisoned by Galactus. Managed to escape and repeatedly attacked Galactus, who always defeated his former Herald. The hero Star-Lord eventually imprisoned the Fallen One in the intergalactic prison, the Kiln. The Fallen One escaped when the Kiln was destroyed in a conflict between Thanos and the entity the Maker. Although the Fallen One found Galactus again, Galactus simply teleported him back to Thanos to deal with. Thanos managed to defeat the Fallen One by tricking him into igniting a gas giant, which rendered him unconscious. Thanos then mentally enslaved him, forcing him to serve as Thanos' Herald. There you go. His affiliation and relationships, Heralds of Galactus, and he's single. Physical characteristics, male, 6'10", 400 pounds, big dude. White eyes, no visible irises. Hair is blue with stellar patterns. Skin is black. Skin apparently composed of dark matter. His origin, the first Herald of Galactus, he is now deceased. Personal information, secret identity, former Herald of Galactus, base of operations is mobile. Creators, he was created by Keith Giffen and Ron Lim. First appearance, Thanos number 11, June 2004. And his the death was Annihilation Silver Surfer number 4 in July of 2006. So he didn't last long. He has a power grid. Strength is intelligence, not very much. Level 2, and I guess that's the fact that he kept attacking his master, Galactus, which probably isn't smart. Strength is a 6, speed is a 7, durability is a 6, energy projection is a 6, and fighting skills is a 3. His powers, black matter. The Fallen One, unlike later heralds, was granted control of black matter, the binding halo by which galaxies are made solvent. He was stated to have a galactic threat level by the Nova Corps, even past his time as a herald. Energy tracking. The Fallen One can track Galactus' energies across intergalactic distances. Superhuman strength. He could use this matter to augment his strength to unrevealed limits. Superhuman durability. Could survive immersion within a gas giant and its explosion. Although such force could temporarily incapacitate him, in order to knock him out, Star-Lord had to use life forces of thousands of people and concentrate them into a single powerful blast of energy. The Fallen One could project energy as well, energy blasts of energy capable of destroying large starships. Self-sustenance. The Fallen One does not need food, air, or water and is comfortable in the vacuum of space. Flight. Was capable of traveling faster than the speed of light. Weaknesses is insanity. He's violently insane, and even Galactus considers him a threat. Traditionally, the first Herald of Galactus was the Silver Surfer, then Airwalker, then Firelord. The Fallen One is a retcon and is addressed in his debut issue. Later, Marvel introduced the Heralds that also predated the Silver Surfer, like the one from 1582. He's got 8 appearances, was in a handbook, a couple things like that. Let's see here. Yeah, so not a ton about him. And you can see he's got like a pretty short history. Let's see if they have anything else on him. This is from Comic Vine. A vengeful Dark Herald of Galactus, chosen long before the Silver Surfer, appeared briefly before and during the Annihilation story arc. So again, you can see very newer story arc. Keith Giffen, Ron Lim, Thanos number 11. Was his first appearance. Samaritan, Part 5 of 6, and The Fallen. Appears in 26 issues. Little is known about him, simply being known as the Fallen One. What is known, he was the very first being Galactus decided to imbue with sufficient amount of power cosmic to serve him as a harbinger of his desire to consume worlds in order to temporarily satisfy his otherwise insatiable hunger. When the Fallen One first encountered Galactus, how he came to be is still unknown. The only fact for sure, known for sure, is that existence precedes that of Galactus' most recognized herald, Norrin Radd. Debuted in the Thanos series by Keith Giffen. His first chronological appearance, while in context, should be the one in Annihilation Conquest, Star-Lord number 1, where the adventurer Peter Quill reminisces how he first encountered him. Ship, Star-Lord's Stenchian space vessel, that's an original name, drew Quill's attention toward the Fallen One, who was roaming the cosmos in search of orbs, supposedly from which his former master could feed upon. In point of fact, he was actually destroying the orbs as he found them in a well-conceived plan to weaken him, if not outright starve Galactus. The reckless Star-Lord immediately attempted to face off with the Fallen One and put an end to his path of destruction, only to be easily defeated and left for dead. After intensive treatment by Ship, Star-Lord tried once more to approach Fallen One, this time with much greater subtlety. Star-Lord located the Fallen One on Aveline 4, an agricultural world on the outskirts of the Kree Empire. He realized that none of the weaponry in his possession could stop the creature directly, but he also theorized that the energy released by the destruction of an entire world could cause him harm. In order to achieve this, he generated enough energy to destroy the colony himself and then channeled it into a concentrated blast against the Fallen One. This resulted in both the complete destruction of Abilene 4 and the defeat of the Fallen One. Guilty for intentionally causing the deaths of thousands of living beings, Quill turned himself, along with his prized prisoner, into the custody of the Nova Corps. Both Star-Lord and Fallen One were sentenced to serve life imprisonment in a high-security prison called the Kiln. So, again, there you go. He's only in a few books. Probably going to be pretty easy to read. And so, let's get over to the Unlimited app and take a look at, we'll look him up. And we'll see what they've got here. For him, shouldn't be too much. So he's probably going to be easy to investigate into or read if you want to. Because there probably won't be all that many books. I don't even think they have no, they actually don't. He's not even singled out as a character in the Unlimited app. And he doesn't come up when the Fallen come up. The Forgotten One comes up. But yeah, you probably just have to look up Annihilation and go from there. And read it from there, since he hasn't been in many books. Makes sense. So, yeah. So that's so there you go. So very, very quick discussion about the Fallen One. Not all that much about him, since he is a newer character. So we will go to the new this week column and check out what I am going to be reading. So we have Avengers Academy, Marvel Voices in the Infinite one that's exclusive to the app. Phoenix number 11. We have One World Under Doom, which I have read already. Big fight between Doom and Dormammu, which is very cool. So that was a very good issue. That's issue number 4 of One World Under Doom. Hellverine is up to issue number 6. Spiderverse versus Venomverse as issue number 1, so brand new book. Daredevil, I read that every time it comes out, so that's up to number 21. The Godzilla stuff continues. Godzilla versus X-Men, issue number 1. Red Hulk, which I've been reading as well, because that ties into Doom. That's issue number 4. Ultimate Black Panther, up to issue number 16. The Spectacular Spider-Men, issue number 15. Uncanny X-Men, issue number 14. Wolverine, issue number 9. Doctor Strange of Asgard, issue number 3. Jedi Knights, this is with Obi-Wan and Anakin, up to issue number 3. And then we have Gwenpool, issue number 1, brand new. Thunderbolts Doomstrike, issue number 4, ties into the Doom stuff. X Factor, issue number 10. The Immortal Thor, issue number 23. Miles Morales Spider-Man, issue number 33. Marvel Mutts, Infinity comic that's exclusive to the app. Marvel Rivals is up to issue number 15 if you are a fan of the game. Exclusive to the app, and also Astonishing Avengers Infinity comic, issue number 25, exclusive to the app. So not a huge week, but there is stuff that I will be reading. And again, like I always say, if you can't get to a comic shop or don't have one locally near you or a bookstore to get some of these books to check out, you can certainly pay the $9.99 a month for the Marvel Unlimited app, which is definitely well worth it. So, okay. That is the comic section, and Fallen One went a lot quicker than I thought it would. So, again, we'll go back and we'll check out the card. And it's just, I've seen people what this does. I saw Alex Coach's video on it yesterday. He's not enthralled by it. I'm not really either. It's not going to be a card that I'm going to see myself playing very much. It's just not my thing. I am not at all into buff. I don't like buff. I am sick of buff. I'm tired of seeing Gwenpool. I'm tired of seeing all that buff stuff. It is not my thing. And so I am not, highly doubt I'm going to be playing much of this card, even though to reap the rewards, for the end of it. But this does not seem like something that I'm going to like. I don't think I ranked, I may have ranked this high. Actually, now that I think about this might be my number 1 rated card of the month. Thinking back to my list, I really should write those down so I don't have to go back and decide what my card order is. But I don't know. This is probably not a card I'm gonna play. I may try it. I don't know and see, but I'm not a big end of turn or end of game turn. I don't like the Zola stuff. I'm not into that. So. But he is a 5/5 on reveal. Set your max energy equal to this card's power. So that's what people are just trying to do. He's not going to get played until turn 5. So, and that's when, so beforehand you want to try to buff the card. So Regis was using Symbiote Spider-Man to play him on too, which gives you 12 energy. And then you can just do all kinds of crazy stuff that might make him even bigger than that and just give you this astronomically huge amount of energy on the end of the game. So, I don't know. I'm not a fan of this, and I don't really see myself playing it very much. So, but in any case, that's what the card does. And then, of course, we've got Sanctum coming, which we're getting another card. I'm not sure if it's Firelord or if it's Airwalker. I can't remember. I think it's Airwalker that you're going to be able to win from that. And it does look like you're going to be able to get the card pretty easily this time. They're making it a little bit better, less missions you have to do and things like that. So enjoy Sanctum. It should be coming out pretty soon. So, okay. So, well, we're getting on to the end here. This one's going to probably end a little bit quicker than usual because, like I said, I have work to get to. But we're going to get to the MCU news. And again, it's just all Spider-Man all the time, man. And now you're getting some Doomsday leaks and things like that they're talking about. And one of the things, and I don't know if this is, and so many of this stuff is just speculation, but one of the speculation things, and you can decide whether this is neat or not, but a lot of them that I heard on a lot of the videos that I watch, and I named all those creators earlier, is one where this whole thing with Doom might end up stemming from the Captain America going back in time to deliver the stones back and how he decided to stay with Peggy Carter. So a lot of people were wondering, including myself, is that going to have ramifications? Just because he did that, and then, will that change things somehow? Well, apparently it might be the catalyst. That's what a lot of people are saying, that the whole Doomsday story could stem from Steve Rogers deciding to stay and have that life with Peggy Carter. I don't know if that's true. A lot of these things are just rumored, but I find that kind of interesting. They're going to continue from Endgame. And have that stem from that's going to create this whole ripple in time stuff, and then you're going to see. And then, of course, the other big thing is Hugh Jackman. And, we didn't hear a confirmation, but Ryan Reynolds definitely teasing that he's going to be in Doomsday, which does make sense. Because, again, it's kind of the goodbye to the Fox characters, as they said. And I don't know. Maybe it will be the goodbye to this version of Deadpool. As Ryan Reynolds has said, he's probably not going to do the character all that much anymore. It could also be our goodbye to Wolverine. As well, Hugh Jackman's Wolverine too. So we'll have to see. Let's see some other stuff here. This is from Discussing Film. Marvel fans are discussing an overlooked MCU show that's coming soon, and it just highlights the bloat. I keep forgetting about it. They're probably talking about Wonder Man. Yeah. Most overlooked releases of the upcoming Marvel shows. The series headed to Disney Plus will star Yahya Abdul-Mateen II as Wonder Man, a.k.a. Simon Williams, an actor with superpowers who auditions to play a superhero in a TV show. Talk about meta. It's the only remaining live-action Marvel project of the year. People are saying, I keep forgetting about it. I love the actor they got. However, their track record, I'm totally fine sitting on the sideline, says one fan. It's one of those cases where, without a trailer, I don't know what to expect, but absolutely nothing, says someone else. Wonder Man as a character is nothing to me. I have zero interest in him, but that itself means nothing because a good writer and showrunner could make this an awesome show. We'll have to wait and see, says another fan. Peacemaker was nothing. The Guardians of the Galaxy were nothing to anyone. Cassian Andor was nothing. Special during Rogue One, but Andor was an incredible show. Make a good show, and the character doesn't matter. I don't know who is in charge, which is what really matters way more than the name of the star. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings director Daniel Cretton and Hawkeye consulting producer Andrew Guest created the show with guest show running. Now, Daniel Destin Cretton is the guy that's going to be directing the next Spider-Man film. So I don't know. This could be a sleeper because, we haven't seen a trailer. We haven't seen anything. And it's coming out in December, I think. Kind of hard to be excited for something that hasn't even had a genuine trailer. It's also going to happen with another directionless subpar phase of Marvel, is another person's verdict. Going into it with no expectations like I did for Ironheart, hope to be pleasantly surprised. Does seem to be mostly distance from the rest of the MCU happenings, which has mostly worked well for Disney+. Not everyone is ambivalent, though. I'm hyped for it. I loved Wonder Man in the comics, and they got an amazing actor to play him. Wonder Man arrives on Disney+ this December. So, maybe we'll get a trailer the closer it gets to December. Who knows? Maybe during New York Comic Con, because that's coming up. Screen Rant also has a rumored Spider-Man crossover in MCU movies addressed by villain star. One of the Cinematic Universe MCU actors who plays a huge villain in franchise addresses rumors about their character being set up for a Spider-Man crossover. Brand New Day is still being kept under wraps. Audiences have made it clear which villains they would love to see. One of them is Wilson Fisk. Have recently surfaced that Marvel Studios is planning to finally have Holland's Spider-Man battle Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin as the Daredevil born-again actor was directly asked by an MCU fan on X if he could elaborate. D'Onofrio shared the following response. Honestly, I have no idea. A lot of hype about nothing. He said, honestly, I have no idea. I can't believe they made an article about that. But that's how things go when news is kind of slow. So honestly, I have no idea. Well, there you go. Spider-Man Brand New Day promo art reveals amazing look at the Wallcrawler's new MCU costume, which you can see in any number of videos that are out there that they did of early shoots and filming and stuff like that they did in Glasgow, Scotland. It's just all over the place. And that is what is just gaining most of the hype because they allowed that to get out there. And I think they really wanted it to get out there. Mahershala Ali's Blade MCU debut is a Marvel zombie that needs to be laid to rest. Peter Parker's about to go on an adventure that involves Hulk and Punisher. Avengers are going to face Doom. And then they're going to face him again. One thing that doesn't seem to be happening, however, is Blade. Latest development with Marvel Zombies, it may be time for them to just wave the white flag. Kevin Feige told San Diego Comic-Con that Ali was going to star in a Blade movie. Has not happened. Ali has a voice cameo in an Eternals post-credit scene. Now we've just learned that while Eric Brooks will be part of Marvel Zombies, the character will be voiced by Todd Williams rather than Mahershala Ali. So they're getting somebody else to voice Blade's part in the upcoming Marvel Zombies. So no Mahershala Ali, and they're saying that's just another blow to people that are hoping and waiting for him to be in that. A Black Widow star slams Marvel, wanted to be recast in the MCU movie. Ray Winstone spoke about asking to be recast on Black Widow after Marvel ordered reshoots. He played Dreykov, the villainous head of the Red Room. While speaking at the film festival, he explained that his initial excitement during the early stages, I worked with Kate Shortland. We wanted, and we worked on what my character was going to be. He was running around all these girls. They become Black Widows. We used to get applauded on set. It was probably the best thing I've done for a really long time. He said, got a call. We need to do some reshoots. I say, how many scenes? Said, all of them. So I said she should recast the role, but I was contracted, so I had to do it. I go back to do my hair all nice. They put me in a suit, and I couldn't do it. I'd already done it. I thought, I'm not doing it now. I've done it. That's how it's going to be. This rejection, Winstone remained in Black Widow in his role. Stayed in the final cut of the film. With Marvel films and blockbusters in general, the English actor now believes that Hollywood has transformed into a business, one that is not interested in making cultural films. So he's kind of disgruntled. Fantastic Four, by the way, in case you're wondering, is up to over $400 million. It's beaten out of a lot of the other Marvel films. It's beaten all the other Marvel films that they've had out this year. And it's beaten some of the OG ones like Captain America, the First Soldier, the Incredible Hulk with Ed Norton and stuff like that. So I guess that's a good thing. All right. And the Wakanda animated series is available to watch right now. If you are curious about that, that is out to watch. I have not watched it yet. I don't know anybody that has. I'm sure I probably will at some point in time. Okay, we are at the end, and it is time for the Dazzlers Lyric Challenge. Now, if you did not get last week's, it was Ozzy Osbourne, Shot in the Dark. So Ozzy Osbourne, Shot in the Dark. Just a shot in the dark, one step away from you. My favorite Ozzy song, and that is what the lyrics came from last week. Okay, I'm going to do now I've been doing 80s stuff. I'm going to do one from the 90s. So we're going to go up a little. So I'm going to give you the time of this and when it came out. Now this is a very it's a very somber song, the story behind it, and why it was made, and when it came out, it still, unfortunately, very unfortunately, pertains to our society today. So that's the introduction I'll give you for this. Okay. I think this is going to be a pretty easy one because the lyrics are, pretty iconic. Okay, so we'll go from here. He hit me with a surprise left. My jaw left hurting. Oh, dropped wide open. Just like the day I heard. Daddy didn't give affection, and the boy was something mommy wouldn't wear. I can't even read the rest of it. Yeah, that's as far as I can go. So I read the rest of it, I'm going to give away the title. So there you go. That's all I can read. I'm sure this is going to be an easy one. A lot of people are probably going to get this. Huge song. I was very into Pearl Jam when they came out, and this song just exploded for various reasons. The video, creepy on MTV, and it actually got banned because of the footage that it showed. But you'll know why. But yeah, Pearl Jam. I was not big into like Nirvana when that whole thing started with grunge. Smells Like Teen Spirit, everybody kind of listened to, but I never really got into Nirvana. But I really did like Pearl Jam in the 90s. So they were kind of the ones that got me into grunge. I loved their first album, 10, was just fantastic and one of my favorite albums. Oh, I just gave it away. I'm an idiot. It's Pearl Jam, by the way. Jeremy. Scratch that. Reverse it. Well, there you go. Okay, we're not going to do that. We'll do. Oh my God, I'm such a moron. I'm just trying to get this finished so I can get on with my day. All right, let's go to. Oh my God, I'm such a moron. Let me think. Okay, here we go. I'll do this one. This is also 90s. This one pertains more to comic books. Well, you got a little lesson about Jeremy, so there's a musical lesson for you. But let's go to this one. This one I used to listen to in the 90s when I was reading the Doomsday comics from Superman. I don't know why, but this song would make a great soundtrack to the final, to this Death of Superman comic book, the actual Death of Superman issue. So if you ever read that issue, if you own it, and once I tell you what this song is, if you don't guess what it is, this is I think they're a metal band, but they came about in the 90s. But this song, I don't know, it just fit perfectly with the ending of that Doomsday book when Superman died. Okay. So I'm going to read you, I'm not going to read you the chorus because of course that is the title, but I'll read you the first two stanzas before the chorus. Okay. Lonely sidewalks, silent night, bring the evening deep inside. Hold me, darling, touch me now, let the feelings free tonight. And then the next stanza is, time of season wipes your tears, no rhyme or reason, no more fears, and all the dreaming is far behind. You are near here now, and everything's all right. That's the one you need to guess. Pearl Jam was just a lesson to you because I gave it away. But anyway, whether you like Pearl Jam's, Jeremy, or whether you like this one and you've heard this one, but again, like I said, if you have The Death of Superman and you have that, the comic, read the last issue of it. The issue where they're showing just all one-page shots of the big fight between Doomsday and Superman, and listen to this song. I'm telling you, I don't know why, but it just fits. And I used to listen to it all the time when I'd read the comics because it could provide the soundtrack for it. But this song alone, it's just very fitting. So let me know if you get the lyric for this week from Dazzlers contest, and you will win a no prize. I didn't get a no prize out because no one guessed it from last week, but it was Shot in the Dark by Ozzy. So I know some people were trying, but didn't get it. So all right, guys. Well, there you go. That is going to do it for me for this episode of Snap Decisions. Thank you so much for listening wherever you may listen to. I am part of the Snap Judgments network of podcasts, where we have such great shows as Snap on This, who just did their anniversary edition. I asked them a bunch of questions, and they answered my questions. So it was a very cool episode. So go check them out. They are out every single Friday with Ree and Ben and, of course, Lauren Whatevs. They're on YouTube. You could watch it there, or you can just listen on audio as I do when I check out the pod. Also, Kier Nimbus. Now, I'm not sure if Kier is taking a break from the pod. He might be. He did reach out and tell me he's taking a break from the game. So I'm assuming maybe he might be taking a break from the pod as well. But he will be on a future episode of my show. Kier is just a great dude. Been on my show several times and love talking to him and chatting with him. So he will be joining me on an episode of the pod coming up. So you can hear from Kier there if he is not continuing the pod. But if he is, he does a great short form podcast that is very quick to listen to and an easy listen, and does the Snap content as well. So check him out. And then, of course, Snap Judgments. Don't forget about the league. If you did not join it, I'm not sure if they're closed now. For signups, they might be. But if you do get a chance to join, do. It's a lot of fun. And you might, never know, you might end up playing me in a game of Marvel Snap. But Snap Judgments Pod with Roy and Glazer, of course, one of the best pods out there. No Lux Given was on there, and he will be on my show coming up too. So yes. And then, of course, go to my YouTube page, please. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. You will now see content on there on a weekly basis when I'm going to have guests on my show. So check it out. And thank you for doing so. And also thank you for listening wherever you may be listening from. Please send me some of those viewer questions, those call-in questions. You could send me any kind of question you want, whatever. It doesn't have to be a question. It could be, give me a list, talk to me about snap cards, whatever. What's your favorite this? What's your favorite that? Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what content it is, as long as it's some sort of pop culture, comics, video games, whatever. I don't care. Just send them in, and I will answer them, and I will shout you out for doing so. And if you guessed the lyric, let me know that too, whether it's on Twitter or my Discord, wherever it might be. If you have an answer and you know that song, let me know what that is. All right, guys. Have a great rest of your week in Snap. Enjoy Sanctum when it comes out. And again, I will have a guest on my pod this coming week is Nerf Herder. So make sure you check that out next Monday on my YouTube page, where you will see my shining face on the show. But have a great week in Snap, guys. Enjoy the game. Be kind to one another always. And hopefully I will talk to you all on the next episode of Snap Decisions. This is your Snap DJ signing off.